Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima, and this is actually me in the future. Me in the past right now is currently focusing on playing actual Sunlight. This game is a little weird. First of all, I don't really think I should call it a game, but it's got interactivity and missable trophies. So, I guess I could call it a game, at least, you know, if we wanted to be really, really wide about what we could call a game, because the game's got no failure state, and the game's got no, what's the word I'm looking for? Meaningful interaction, I guess is the word I would use. Mainly because the majority of the game is going in a straight line story-wise. There are points where it looks like you can make a different decision, although it's not really that way. The game tends to force you back onto the narrative path anyway, via either you can't go this way, or a yes or no choice where you have to pick yes. I believe TV Tropes calls it, but thou must. So the game is I guess I'd call it a visual novel, except it's more like a kinetic novel. If you heard me talk about kinetic novels back in X-Blaze video, a kinetic novel is something that just uses graphics and sound in order to enhance the storytelling, but doesn't add anything like choices like a visual novel does. So the game just involves you as this 30-something-year-old guy who's let his life go a little bit too far, and he's just, well, I guess the words I'm looking for would be dangling on the edge. It's surprisingly depressing, which is pretty damn contrasted by the fact that it's actually really funny. I mean, I have to admit, I've laughed out loud at this game a couple of times. It's, well, you go up to objects and you interact with them, and you read the interactions between the main character and whatever he's interacting with at the time, whether it be an object or a person or something else. And you laugh because sometimes it's funny, and sometimes you're forced to reflect on your life a little. At least I am, until I saw the message that I'm going to be putting in at the end of this video, because, yeah, this game isn't exactly lighthearted. If you weren't paying attention in the past couple of minutes when it said it deals with heavy adult themes, yeah, it's not kidding. It is a big wallop of a guy going through depression, and it definitely doesn't sound like it came from someone's imagination. It sounds like it came from someone's actual life experiences, whether or not you want to put it that way. And it's a very emotional game, but it's also a very emotionally stunted game, which is something quite strange. It's just a weird tone of writing, something I haven't really come across before. And admittedly, despite the fact that the game basically has no interaction or story derivation, and I don't think that's the word I'm looking for, I don't even think I pronounced it right. Story distinction, I think I'll go with that. But yeah, story distinction, it's still a relatively good format for this sort of tale. I mean, there is one or two games in this sort of genre which I really don't think suit it. I'm going home. But at the same time, it's surprisingly short. Now, the guy says, the developer, Mr. Will, I can't remember his name, but he runs like Woz Studios or something. I just think Wazza or something, I can't remember exactly what. Anyway, so he says the game goes for about an hour and a half to 2 hours regularly, and it goes for a little bit longer if you want to do everything on the side. For me, I'm a speed reader of the flashiest kind, so I got through this game with all the trophies and all the side stuff in 45 minutes, and that was accounting for reloading the game once because I missed a trophy and I went to read the part about it, and that also accounts for accidentally reading a couple of things twice, thinking there might have been a different set of dialogue on them, but no, I found that's not the way it works at all. So the game is actually quite short. And that was a little bit disappointing to me. This is a review copy. I went and asked for a review copy just a couple of hours ago. I haven't actually slept that much. But I went and asked for a review a couple of hours ago, and I downloaded it, and the guy said on the Reddit post that it's an hour and a half, 2 hours longer. I'm like, okay, maybe I won't be able to get through all this. Nope, got through all of it just fine, so I'll be able to give my opinions on the whole thing. But yeah, 45 minutes is a bit short, at least in my experience. I mean, this video that I'm doing right now, I'm currently doing it at a slower pace to allow you to read all of it in a more comfortable way instead of pausing all the time. And even then, again, I might be going a little bit too fast for some people. So, saying that it might take 2 hours for someone to beat the whole game isn't exactly far-fetched. I am a fast reader, and I was pressing X, like, constantly to get through everything because the text was coming on screen just slow enough to get on my nerves. Yeah, if you're a fast reader like I am, you'll probably get through this game in about an hour. It just all depends on how fast you can read. However, I will admit the text in this game annoyed me a lot, mainly because of that sound you're hearing coming through in the background constantly, which sounds like someone typing really fast on a typewriter. It just gets on your nerves because you just hear it constantly, and the game's positioning between parts of the dialogue is meant to feel it more natural, but at the same time, you're just constantly pressing X because he's decided to do single words as part of that paragraph instead of just showing the whole paragraph at once. Again, it makes sense, and I can understand why he did it, but God, it annoys me, and that's why we have options menus. Although, if the game did show all of its text in one go, instead of just, slowing it down, trying to make it read more naturally, then I probably would have been done in the game in 25 minutes, and I'd be telling you all not to buy it. But then again, there are reasons for everything, and I'm not going to blame the guy for doing it the way he did it. Because in this sort of game, it makes sense, and it doesn't... Well, it does kind of get in the way of the gameplay. I would like the ability to turn off that little ticker noise, whatever you want to call it. But it makes sense in context, so I'm willing to give it a pass for that. So, this game's basically nothing but wandering around and interacting with objects and going along a very straight path. And to be honest with you, considering the subject matter of the game, that's a little disappointing. The main subject matter of the game is a guy who's sunken so deep into his own depression, so deep into his own habits that he's found it impossible to break out of it, and he's fantasizing over absolutely everything he runs into in the street and in his apartment. And it's a little bit depressing to see it be on such a straight line. Like, I can understand the point. Like, being stuck in this loop that you can't get out of, even though it's not really that much of a loop in the game, is depicted as one. And I will be absolutely fair, and I will say that, yeah, the way he tells the story here, just on a straight line, no deviation allowed. Sometimes it looks like you'll be able to get off the path, and sometimes it's actually some really nice two-dimensional art alongside the RPG Maker obvious remake. God, try saying that 5 times fast. But yeah, it's straight line all the time, and honestly, I'm a little bit disappointed. I mean, I could imagine there being a secret ending to this game somewhere, and God only knows there might be. I filled out every trophy on the trophy list, so I mean, having a blank hidden trophy there would probably be a spoiler for some kind of hidden ending. But at the same time, it's a little bit disappointing that I can't do something really, really complex and actively put effort into trying to turn my life around in order to get a better ending to the game, even just slightly. But then again, the game, well, I don't really want to go talking about the ending that much, because, it's not exactly that long of a game. I don't want to go spoiling everything about it in one go here, but yeah, it's just a little bit disappointing to see that there's no potential interaction. Like, imagine being able to go up to one of the women in the game. There are a couple of women in the game that you talk to, and they do have their own problems, even though they're only very lightly touched upon. And I can imagine some people complaining about that. But I can see there being a sort of secret ending where you dance around in front of one of the women for 5 minutes, just tapping directions on the D-pad and then having one of them offer to take you out for a drink or something. I don't know, just something like that that's really hidden and really hard to find. There probably is something like that, but I just haven't, gone through enough of the game because it's currently 8 AM and this video will probably be on the internet by 10 AM. So we'll just, I'll have to just pretend that it don't exist. It's a really hard game whether or not to recommend to someone because it really isn't a game. It's a directed novel experience is what I would call it. I wouldn't call it a game, personally, but honestly, it's legitimately hilarious. It does cause a bit of introspection. I mean, the guy does leave a message, which I'm probably going to end up cutting to at the end of this video, considering there's no way I'm going to be able to talk for the 18 minutes of footage that I've recorded here. But he does leave a message saying that for people under 25, which includes me, this game does not apply to them, but God only knows if I need to start doing some self-introspection. The main protagonist is a guy who barely gets out of bed, plays video games all day, and doesn't have a girlfriend or anyone to talk to, and I'm a guy who doesn't get out of bed all day, doesn't have a girlfriend, doesn't have anyone. Let's try not to get into that too much. We're here talking about a game, goddammit. Even though it's not really a game, goddammit. But nevertheless, I honestly enjoyed it for what it was. It's legitimately funny. It's got a relatively good reason for being the style that it is, despite it not really being a game. And it's a bit weird to only see it on Vita. I mean, 3DS could have it as well or something like that, you know? But I did legitimately enjoy it, and if you know what the hell you're getting into by reading the text that's going by in the background over the past 11 or so minutes, and then realizing that it's basically anywhere between an hour and 2 or 3 hours. It's not going to get to 3 hours, let's be realistic. Anywhere between 1 and 2.5 hours worth of just this text and of this exploring this guy spiraling into something you can't really control. If you are willing to put down $5 for that, go right ahead. It's a good product. It's a good example of what it's trying to be. But yeah, just know what the hell you're getting into before you do, because this isn't one of those games where you go shoot the bad guys. This isn't a game with a happy ending. This isn't a game with anything like that. It's meant to be a long and painful look into the psyche of someone who obviously could have done better, but resisted most of the opportunities along the way, and it's really good at that. I'll leave it at that. That sounds like actually a really good place to end off this video. So I'm going to cut to the point that I talked about twice before, and I'm just going to let it run across the video because I'm not going to spend any more time talking about this game because I've already said a fair amount about it. So this has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.